Think your lashes have hit their limit? Discover limitless length and full volume with Maybelline Sky High Mascara. The Flex Tower brush bends to volumize and extend every single lash from root to tip. And the lightweight bamboo-infused formula makes lashes feel weightless. Now in 8 bold shades so you can take your lashes to new heights every day. Visit Maybelline.com to shop Sky High Mascara now.
When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite, obey your thirst.
All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. In today's episode, I know this episode is going to come off as me being a hater, but I'm not. I'm not trying to be a hater. I feel like that this is the harsh truth that just a robot needs to listen to in order to become a better content creator. But that's the thing. I feel like with people like him, it was never meant for him to be a content creator. I feel like that either he had somebody in his ear telling him to get into content creating, or he was in his ear telling him that he needs to get into content creating because he looked at it as a cool thing. He's like, oh, this is something that can occupy my time. It can take away any stress and frustration that I have going on within myself. Like I can do this. That's the thing. You can't, like, that's one thing about content creating is that there's two different types of people that get into content creating. There's the people that overall want to be a content creator, and then there's people that I feel like they just kind of it's either they get pushed into the content creating sphere or they push themselves into the content creating sphere, but in a way where it's like, whatever it is that you're trying to run from, like, you're not going to escape it, you know? And I think that that's what Just a Robot, what his situation is that he was running from something. He got into content creating. He felt safe. He felt like, oh, I'm no longer Luke. I'm just a robot. And I'm like, no, you're still Luke. You're always going to be Luke. That's one thing that's never going to change. I know that I feel like that he would listen to this and he would laugh and he would crack jokes and all that. But it's like, no, really, sit down and listen to what I'm saying. People think that when you get into content creating that you can escape from whatever it is. Like it's like when you sit down and you listen to his life story and stuff, he didn't have no friends growing up. He didn't even go to school. He was homeschooled and stuff. So, and his mom sounded like Kathy Bates from Misery. So, you have that situation. Then fast forward, I think I remember reading it somewhere online that he might have went to college. So this is your first time having it like I guess some sort of interaction, you know, with a crowd of people and stuff. I don't really know what the outcome of that was, but it didn't sound like it was much of an outcome. It didn't sound like it's something that he can talk about or, you know, like, cause yeah, I guess like when you do hear him talk on his life story, he don't even mention college and stuff. So yeah, I imagine that college, it wasn't all that good either. He gets into working 9-to-5 jobs. How did that go about? He's out here making inappropriate comments, you know, towards people where it's like, fam, you can get charges pressed on against you. You can get fired. Like it did, but overall though, that did happen. He did get fired from his jobs. So he thought, I could get into content creating. I can, you know, say whatever. I can do whatever. Nobody can't stop me. I have all of this freedom. You know, like I can be me. I can finally be who I am. And that's the thing. Who you are is not something to be proud of. That's not something to accept. That's not something to be happy about. Who you are is one of the worst types of people that you can be on the internet. And that's the thing. I don't think a lot of people realize that and understand that. And that's why outside of, you know, talking about Just a Robot in this episode, like I do want to kind of give y'all a little bit of a, you know, learning lesson when it comes to being a content creator, because being a content creator like Just a Robot, that's going to destroy you. Even if you do you don't even do the things that he did, like defending the pedophile, being racist, harass people, all that other stuff, you're not going to last being a content creator like Just a Robot, because he never wanted to be a content creator. He just wanted to fit into an area that accepted him. That's not how you go about life. It's like, the thing is this, you trying to be this negative person and then force others to accept it by being like, oh, I didn't think I did anything wrong. Yeah, that's the thing. That's your problem. You're thinking in the wrong direction. Like, your thinking process is not a thinking process that people are going to accept. That ain't on some stuff where it's like, oh no, people got to change how they feel about me because I'm never going to change who I am. There's so many people, even outside of content creating, there's so many people that try to carry on that philosophy where they're like, I'm never going to change. And then they find themselves right back at where they at when they very first, I guess, noticed this issue amongst themselves, where it's like, oh, nobody doesn't want to be bothered with me. Because no, there is going to be a time where Just a Robot, he is going to look up and there's nobody that's going to be around. He's like, I ain't got my girlfriend, I ain't got my roommate, I ain't got my internet friends, I ain't got nobody. And it probably is going to be on some like desperate attempts where he's like, oh, I'm going to try to make amends with people. Hey, he going to post a video. Hey, TMossBoss, I'm sorry for all the stuff that I put you through. Hey, guys, I'm sorry for all the different things. I feel like this is the apology. And, that's when I feel like where he's like, he's going to get so desperate to where he's like, okay, I need to change. I need to better myself, I guess, for those around me, because dang, I didn't realize like how quiet it is when you're alone. And that's his problem. It's like I just feel like that's how he thinks. And that's why I'm like, fam, before it even gets to that point, you should be trying to change just because it's the right thing to do. Like, the problem is with people like him is that when they do change, they want to wait until it's too late, but I feel like that because he did try to like talk about changing and all that stuff when he did that first response video. That's equivalent to when like a kid where they got like that devious look in their face where after they did something crazy and then either their teacher or their parent or some form of guardian, somebody that's older than them, tells them, hey, you need to apologize, and they still got that deviant look. They say they apologize, but do they mean it though? That's why I'm like, I guess like with that first response video and even the last response video where he's allegedly apologizing, for his actions and all that stuff. Do you truly feel bad for the stuff that you're doing? Because the funny thing is that when you watch those videos and then you look at some of the comments that he left after those videos done came out, you can tell that he never cared about the people that he offended. Like, after he did, and that's the thing, he gonna turn around, continue being himself, continue doing what he's doing. That's why it's like when you look up, you see he's kind of like trying to quietly get himself back into content creation. But it's like, fam, it's not for you. It never has been for you. And that's the thing with people like him is that they don't understand that. They hear people like me saying things like that and they don't understand it. They don't want to understand it. And then that's when they try to like flip things back on you and be all like, oh, you don't understand me. Nobody wants to understand you. My thing is this, if I try to take the time to get into Just a Robot or the Luke, whatever you want to call himself and things, if I took the time to try to get into his brain, it's definitely going to be one of those things where you guys aren't going to hear from me no more. Like, if I had to be like, okay, like, no, let me kind of get into, how like when actors, when they get in like a movie character or something and it just destroys them after they're done with the movie. I feel like that would be the same situation if I tried to like let me get into the like mindset of Just a Robot. It would be one of those things where I'm like, I couldn't do that to myself. Like, I'm not a perfect person. I've never called myself to being a perfect person. I do, that is one thing I am going to try to work more, towards is being a leader. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't want people to look at me as a king or a god or somebody where they got to like kiss the ground that I, walk on and worship me and all. No. I'm not with that. The thing is, and that's why I had to say like the difference between me and him as content creators is that he wants anything that comes out of like, so like, let's say some drama happens, right? He wants to take all the credit for all the different stuff that's going on. Like when you look at me and his drama, every video led back to his. Every video that was made on me, when you go back and you watch a lot of the videos, it was Just a Robot fans. So that's why I'm like, to me, it just trips me out versus when you look at, so like, just this past year, with his downfall and stuff, what was I more so doing? Yeah, I was telling my side of the story. I was letting everybody know what the business was with me. But at the same time, I was taking the time to react to people's videos, showcasing what they had going on. I wanted to support those content creators. Did you see him doing that? No, because that's the thing. He's built off of, you have to do something for me in order for me to do something for you. Meanwhile, me, I'm like, fam, I don't care what happens afterwards. I'm going to take the time to support your content. Why? Because you're a good content creator. I can tell that you want to be a content creator because like you don't allow stuff to get to you that badly to where you're like, oh, I got to throw my whole career away on something. My lights had flickered, but anyways, but I was like, getting back into the episode, it distracted me a little bit, but I'm like, dang, bro, I'm like, it ain't even, the weather ain't even crazy. I guess like if this, well, no, it's like, you guys probably ain't even gonna hear this episode, because I think the last time I was recording something, it didn't even, the file was like corrupted or something like that, but anyways, getting back to what I was talking on, but no, yeah, it's like with him, it's just when it comes down to us as like individuals, as content creators, it's like, yeah, when you more so look at me, it's like I'm taking the time to support the people that are making videos on Just a Robot. He wouldn't do that. He would never do no stuff like that, because that's not who he is. That's not the type of stuff that he was thinking about when he very first got into content creating. When he got into content creating, he got into it for himself and himself only. And to me, I'm like, that's the sad reality of some content creators out there, where it's like their thought process is built off of, if it doesn't benefit me, I'm not going to get involved with it. And I mean, with some cases and situations, yeah, you know, it's like, I know that there's at times where I'm like, if this community isn't, I guess, good for me, but more so if it's a negative community, I'm not going to get myself involved in it, you know, because there's been times where I've seen YouTubers, groups, I've seen like a whole content creating community and stuff where I'm like, I know this community won't be good for me. I'm gonna go ahead and back off. Like, there's creators that I have unsubscribed to and unfollowed because I'm like, nah, I can tell that this community, it's not for me. You know, it's not a community where I can look at my friends and be like, hey, I'm a part of this community, you should come through. That's not, and with him on the other hand, it's like he built his community. And also tore it down at the same time and stuff. But, well, more so, I think he built the community. It's just that people realized what kind of community that it was. They ditched the spot. They was like, nah, I can't be a part of this no more. You know, and that's the thing where it's like, he doesn't even the situation that he's in right now, where he's in a canceled state. Your fans done abandoned you. Nobody wants to, people, I guess, if they don't know who you are, or if they're just only in it for the money, because yeah, when it's like, when you look at his content, he got somebody making his thumbnails for him. Do you think them individuals know who what he's about? Do you think them individuals know that he defended a pedophile? Do you think they know that he's a racist and he got all these other different skeletons in his closet? No. But the thing is this though, if they're like, oh, I'm getting paid to just do a thumbnail for it, yeah, I'm like, there's some people where they are like, hey, I don't care about all that. I got bills. I ain't trying to, be hearing all this other extra stuff. Because I'm pretty sure, yeah, there's probably some people that they done told. But even that too, like, because I was thinking that, I'm like, fam, he don't even make his own thumbnails. But I'm like, he don't edit his videos. I don't think he writes a script, because it's like, yeah, if he's dyslexic, I imagine that's going to probably, that's going to be difficult for him, to write out a script. I don't know, unless like he writes out whatever and he knows what he's talking about and stuff. It's just a robot script. That's one of those things where I'm like, either it's like he's saying it like he's, like doing like an audio recording or something. That's his version of writing out the script. But either way, regardless, it's like, yeah, he's not, he's not, not so much as original. No, he just doesn't even have any talent. He doesn't have no talent when it comes down to being a content creator. When you look at a lot of other different people out there, they be making their own thumbnails. They be having their own background music. They be, like they're fully behind every video that they put out there. And, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to have other people work on like, different forms, but I feel like with him, it's like nothing about his channel is like he can say that he owns it and stuff, like, because I think with his first channel, I remember that being told to me, because it was with that whole doxing rumor. People were trying to say that I doxed him, and I'm like, how do you dox somebody with public information, with information that was posted? Because there was this I talked on this not too long ago. There was that whole Google Plus website, but there on this, so this was back on his original, because he hadn't created his new channel yet. So on his the other channel, I think it's like at 90 something thousand subscribers or something like that. But anyways, there it was Google Plus, YouTube, all that stuff was all linked together. So there was a picture of some random guy that was on that Google Plus account. Public information, by the way. Anybody could have seen this for themselves. So to me, it's just, I found it funny how he was trying to say that I was trying to dox him, but it's like, anybody could have went to your account and seen this picture. I just made a video about it. What's the difference between you posting it or it being posted on Google Plus and me posting it? It's both public. Now I can understand if it was private or if somebody had sent it to me, and then because I'm like, the funny thing is that, fam, I did that stuff. Now I'm like, I'm not hearing no conversations about me doxing you, and I did the same thing. I guess this time around it's like I did it with the right person, because whoever that guy was, I guess that was even just a robot. I remember him saying that his the original channel, it wasn't even created by him. It was given to him by some but I don't know if it was a friend of his or whoever the guy was. But I'm like, fam, all the way from like because I think even that the original just a robot, like that picture of the of the, not the cartoon one that he has now, but like the one on the old channel, I'm pretty sure he ain't draw that. So it's like, fam, nothing about you. It's funny how he always tried to get on me about, having talent and being original. And it's like, you're not original. You don't have no talent. You have people working on. The thing is this, you do the bare minimum. So if we can say this in a percentage thing, he owns 25% of his channel. The editors, the thumbnail creators, the what else? The script writers, the people that be helping him out in his videos, where it's like, oh, I don't know what to say here, so can you say something? All those people, they own the other 75%. It's like he might have, like, it's kind of like when you listen to music and there's like, I guess in his case, he has a ghostwriter, 100% has a ghostwriter. But no, it's like his verse and what he raps about or sings about, whatever, it doesn't stand out. Like he's pretty much Big Sean on Control. That's exactly, and then everybody else, they're like the Kendricks and all that stuff. But he's Big Sean. He might have like a little bit to say, but it's not gonna stand out to where like the real artwork is being showcased. So yeah, I'm like, just a robot. He can't even like claim ownership to his channel and who he is as a content creator. And to me, I'm like, it's stuff like that. It's sad. It's sad, bro. It's like, here it is. Just like you try to get on other people about how they carry themselves as content creators. You can't even carry yourself properly as a content creator. So that's why I'm like, look, anybody out there that wants to have things to say about me, more so his fans, because those are the only people that really be trying to get on my case when it comes down to views, subscribers, editing, thumbnails, and all this other different stuff. Get on him about being original. Get on him about having talent. All the different things that y'all be saying about me, please say that same stuff to him, because it's valid. All the different things that people be saying about me, you flip it on him. It's valid things that you can say to him. But that's the thing though, he's not gonna listen, because he knows that what people say about him, they're right. He knows that. He ain't gonna never come out and admit to that, but he knows that these people, it's like people like K-Huck, the Op Block, Chris the Narc, Chud Logic, let me think of some other people, Lyle Convoy, what else? I'm trying to think of some other people, but pretty much like everybody that I made videos about just a robot and then has something to say about him and things, with the stuff that they're saying is valid. So But anyways, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And
hey, Ryan Reynolds here. Wishing you a very happy half-off holiday, because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. Mint is still premium unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day. Yeah?
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
peace.